Hi everybody, Coach O'Connor here, coming to you on a Sunday evening. And we are looking at second Sunday in June. Pretty excited about being here tonight. I want to talk to you a little bit about motivation and motivation strategy with your young person that you're raising. This is really going out to parents tonight. A lot of parents just assume that their children have the same motivation strategy that they do. And so they try to, what motivates them, they try to do with their children, and they don't get the results they're looking for. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that today. First thing I want to say that it starts with criteria. So there's got to be some underlining criteria, like what do you want, or what do you want to achieve, or where do you want to go for lunch, and how do you elicit your young person's motivation strategy. There's going to be 4 or 5 areas we're going to look at. First thing is, I might ask, like, what do you want in a job? Like, say I'm trying to push my kid into getting work, and I say, what do you really want in a good job? And then they'll tell me their criteria, and I'll listen to what they think is important, because they might not want a job the same reason you want a job. Once I have their criteria, then I'm going to ask them this: having a great job, what will that do for you? This will tell us the direction. So we first get the criteria, then we get the direction. What direction is my young person's motivation strategy lean towards? Is it towards, or is it away? So I'll say, what do you want in a job? And he'll tell me, hey, I just want, good hours. So having good hours, what will they do for you? Well, then I'll be able to, and then I'll listen to the direction. He says, well, then I'll be able to attain, better grades, or I'll be able to achieve more. So he's talking about moving towards. But if he says, oh, then I'll be able to get away after that and go to the gym, or I'll be able to move away from. So there's 2 motivation directions: towards or away from. Both can be very successful, but we have to listen to which ones our kids are, especially if we want to try to motivate them. The next thing I'm going to look for is the level of their response. Is it reactive or is it proactive? And just don't think because somebody's moving away from they can't be proactive. They can be proactive and moving away. So it's really a tricky business when it comes to this type of listening. When you're asking your young person and they're using those words like attain and gain, that's probably a proactive person and moving towards. However, if they say, I just want to get away from the stress, and then they'll get off my back, my parents will get off my back, then that person may be away from and reactive. So you've got direction, towards, and away. You've got levels of proactivity and reactivity. Then we're going to listen for the decision factors. So not every one of us is wired up the same. This is what I'm trying to bring out tonight, is that you've got towards and away from, you've got proactive, reactive, and now on the decision factors, some of us compare things. We'll say, well, this one weighs more, this one looks a little better. That's one way that we can use a decision factor. We can compare. The other way is we can sort by differences. Oh, this is completely different. Your child might say, this is different. Or some sort by similarities. They'll say it's much the same. And then others are polarity, what we call polarity sorters, and they'll sort by criteria that's not even on the menu, or they'll do the opposite of what you ask them. So you've got direction, level, decision factors, which there's 4 of them, and then you've got reason. So the reason is, procedural, could be a reason. First, I got to do this. Second, I got to do that. Third, I got to do that, or A, B, C. And then the other reason is options or random choices. So your child is wired up in these different categories. In the direction, there's 2 of them, towards and away. You have to listen to what they say. They'll tell you specifically which their direction they're heading. You also have to listen for the level. Are they reactive or proactive? And then the decision factors. Do they sort by comparing? Do they sort by differences? Or do they sort by similarities? Or are they polarity sorter? And then finally, you've got this reason, which is procedural. First, you've got to do this. Second, you got to do that. Or hey, there's a bunch of real reasons. Now, why do I bring these up? So this motivation criteria, or this motivation strategy, if I want to get my son to do something, and let's say my son is a reactive, moving away from guy who sorts by differences, and he is random options. So if I said to him, if I come up to him and I speak the language that he's not wired up in, and I said, I want you to get this job because it'll help you move towards your college education. And you better do it right now. You better take some action right now. And this is a very good way because it's very similar to what your uncle did. And here's how you do it. First you do this, second you do that, third you do that. I just spoke a completely different language than the way he's wired up. There's not a chance that he'll go and do what I ask him to do. But if I code the same message in his motivation strategy, and I say, hey, this will really get you away from some of that financial stress, and you'll be able to put gas in your own car, and you'll be able to do the things you want to do if you'll go and get this job. But take your time in choosing which job you'd like the best. You've got a lot of different options out there. There's a lot of great jobs. You could do fast food, you can do hospitality, you can do service work, you can do retail. But take your time and really sort things out. And this is a different time in life now because you've got more expenses. So it's a little different than it used to be. And this will be something that you'll be able to really spread out all the different options, and then pick the best one for you. Now I just coded it in his motivation strategy. The chances of this kid going and looking for a job are fantastic because I just spoke his language. So I think a lot of the power struggles that we have with our children happen in this particular area where we're speaking our motivation strategy or our convincer strategy or our decision-making strategy. We're speaking them to the way we're wired up, and it's like two ships in the night. So this is our first little teaser on motivation strategies and how to speak the language that your child is motivated in. And then I've got another one on convincer strategy and decision-making strategy coming up here in the next couple weeks. So have a great week, you guys. We'll catch up with you soon.